So I was asked the question, where do I start on my self-development journey? And the real answer to that question is that admitting you're a bitch, because we have a lot of bitches that walk around like they're not bitches, but when we reflect and when we take a brief analysis on what they indulge in, where they put their energy into, where their energy expenditures are, channeling their energy, their potential energy to actually become some shit and do some shit with their life, what they're actually, putting time and energy and attention into. When we look at the, pleasures they indulge in, when we look at, the habits that they indulge in. So when we look at, the addictions, the overeating, the fucking problems that are actively depleting you as a organism in the fucking planet. So when we look at an individual and that individual is pretending to not be a bitch, but then that bitch is failing at being a fucking primate and failing at being a fucking hominid. So when we look at their habits and they are not sober, they are not fit, so thus inferior to a fucking vertebrate mammal, they are failing at being vertebrate mammals. Because as a vertebrate mammal, if you are not fit, if you are not sober, remember that the fucking chimpanzee is fit and sober. And if you're not fit and sober, you're failing at being a fucking hominid. So understand that before you even ask the question of, what should I do to pursue my personal development? Ask yourself the question, am I a bitch? Do my habits reflect me being a bitch? Can I not control myself to not indulge in that pleasure? Can I control myself, to neglect that urge to give into what is going to actively and passively kill me? Are you too powerless to neglect the urge to pick up the drink, to pick up the cigarette, to pick up the vape, to stop smoking the weed? Are you too much of a bitch to not fucking deplete yourself, to not, understand that, what you're putting your energy into, what your energy expenditures and the potential energy that you wake up with to go and do some shit with their life? Are you wasting that? Are you a wasteful, depleting organism? Are you a fucking failure? Are you failing at being a vertebrate mammal with a fucking spine and brain to go out into the world and execute certain things to have a fulfilling life? Or will you continue to live on the edge and feed these negative habits that are depleting you and receding you to remain a bitch? So we have a lot of men who walk around like they're not bitches, but when we look at their habits and we reflect on their essence of character and they pretend to be this noble character with a fake ass grin on their face, with this walking ball of a downward spiral, insecure piece of shit, overeating fat bitch that, can't comprehend the velocity of their own life, to understand that you only live once, and to walk around like an informidable, through space and time decaying, fucking failing to be a hominoid by not indulging what is going to actively and passively kill you and disintegrate and, inflame your existence to actively kill yourself through the negative habits. You have to understand that before you even look at how you're going to, pursue your personal development, ask yourself the question, am I a bitch? And do my habits prove myself that I'm a bitch? If you can't wake up for your life, if you are waking up before 5 a.m., you are a bitch. You are not grateful enough for your life to wake up and get shit done. If you are not exercising, you are failing at being a fucking vertebrate mammal. You are failing at being a fucking monkey. So when we look at a monkey and the monkey is sober and fit and you're not sober and fit, you're failing at being a fucking monkey. So when we render you inferior by your conduct and by universal evaluation of your character, don't be mad that you're a bitch and you're worthless and valueless through the habits and the way you conduct yourself. So this isn't any, emotional concoction of, I'm going to project my insecurity onto an individual because I'm inadequate. No, this is if you are not up to par and up to standard with being and matching the criteria of responsibility to be a fucking man, aka a fucking hominoid, a ad hominid, a fucking primate in existence, if you are indulging in self-depleting habits, thus the smoke, the weed, the cigarette, the drink, if you are failing and actively are indulging in a parasitic symbiosis bondage to yourself and being a fucking failing primate in existence, and then you are going to walk around with a grin like you aren't a bitch for fucking actively killing yourself through negative habits passively to disintegrate and, instead of vitalize, instead of, go out into the world and chase down your fucking goals and hack them down, and to be complete by fulfilling what you were born and came on earth to do, which is to fulfill the vision you see within yourself, to neglect that responsibility and to go out like a bitch failure. Remember that, you went your entire life with a self-depleting symbiosis, parasitic bondage to yourself. So you are a parasite to yourself. And so when we cut you off, when we look at this bitch and think, okay, this bitch can't even get around my energy because their vibration and frequency is so fucking low that they're going to sit there and passively kill themselves, and we don't want to be around you, and you feel some type of way about it, remember that if you have a parasitic symbiosis to yourself, thus you latch onto yourself and passively kill yourself for a quick fix that doesn't fucking fix you, bitch. A quick fix that is going to actively kill you, bitch. When we look at you and we see that you are actively disintegrating and decaying yourself through action, so this is a actualized thing. You are thinking about this and then you are really actualizing this into existence. So this isn't just a thought. No, you are acting upon that thought, and so you will rot. Bitch! 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 You're either going to look in that mirror and understand that you're going to rid that parasite of what you are, and you are going to reflect the higher version of yourself, which is that version who is going to overcome that parasitic bitch that's been draining you, that's been depleting you, that's been distracting, retracting, and subtracting you from what you're supposed to do, which is overcome, the negativity in your life. So when we look at your habits and we universally evaluate you by what you indulge in, what you put your energy into, and then we understand that, okay, you put your energy into drink, you put your energy into smoke, you put your energy into drugs, you put your energy into cigarette, you put your energy into weed, you put your energy into vape, and then you wonder why you're so fucking negative. It's because everything you indulge in is negative, you dumb fucking retard, and your habits inhabit your mind. So remember, your habits are a reflection of you. So before you walk around like a miserable bitch, remember that you're failing at being a hominoid, and you're too powerless to navigate yourself, because remember, the definition of power is to be able to navigate yourself towards and to be able to control specific outcomes. So if you're too powerless to control yourself, to not give in to a certain urge, remember that you are an active parasite to your fucking self. So remember that before you walk around with this fake ass grin on your face, remember that you are a bitch and you are failing at being that higher version of yourself, which is the individual to overcome that pain and to continuously thrive for personal excellence, and to master thyself by mastering thyself's habits, and to move towards their goal with absolute imperialistic willpower, moving through life like a fucking monstrosity, a fucking calamity, ready to bump into whatever is defeating them and cause a fucking catastrophe, to put whatever is speeding up your path to that casket in the casket and body bag it, and to make sure that you don't turn into a fucking faggot-matic fucking, just don't be a bitch in life, especially since you live once. And remember that if the message isn't corroding your fucking brain, it's because the life you live is fucking profane. Now, social media links in the description, community links in the description. one-on-one mindset coaching in the description. Send me a DM on Instagram. We'll get your mind right. You know, the only alignment is through conscious congruency. You have to align with your best self. You do that through fulfilling difficult habits. So you get on the program. We get you on a certain diet to make sure you don't walk around like a self-hating, vindictive, piece of shit, insecure fucking maggot. And we're going to align you to that highest level of yourself to actively fulfill your tasks daily, to go into that gym early as fuck, to go into that gym when everyone's sleeping, you know, to wake up when you don't feel like waking up, to show action, to prove to God that you are grateful for living, that you can wake up when you want to go back to sleep because you're so grateful for life, that you're going to wake up at 3 a.m., that you're going to go work out at 3:45. We do this shit every day. We've never missed a day. 3 a.m., never missed it, bitch. 3:45 a.m., never missed it, bitch. So remember who the fuck you're dealing with. If you're not powerful enough to control yourself and to wake up with massive amounts of intention that pull on the fabrics of space and time itself, you're a fucking failure. So align with winners so you don't die a fucking failure. Peace.